And in fact, cutting across straight to some more news coming in. Now, Bangladesh has sent a note verbal asking India to send back deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Bangladesh's interim government has said that it has sent a note, a diplomatic note to India to send back Sheikh Hasina to Dhaka. Let's remind you viewers, Hasina, who's 77 years old, has been living in India since August 5 when she was ousted and had to flee the country amid the student-led protests that toppled her regime, her 16-year rule. Now, Dhaka-based International Crime Tribunal has issued arrest warrants for Hasina and several former cabinet ministers and advisors and military and civil officials for crime against humanity and genocide. Now, this is a diplomatic message to the Indian government saying that Bangladesh wants her back for judicial process, and Foreign Affairs Advisor or de facto Foreign Minister Tauheed Hussain is the one that has confirmed this news. Let's go across to Kishle, who's joining us live to give us more details on this. Kishle, has any such confirmation come from the government of India so far? All right, Kishle has not been patched with us as of now, but Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor joins us. Abhishek, Bangladesh has sent a note to India asking to send back Sheikh Hasina. Has any such confirmation of such a note being received come from India so far?
It's early. We'll check and get back on that to our viewers, whether obviously there would be an Indian response. But remember, this has been the position of the Bangladeshi puppet regime of Mohammad Yunus that Sheikh Hasina is a criminal so far as they are concerned. She has committed some crimes. And in fact, she is already accused in more than 24 murder and abduction cases. She's named in those FIRs in which investigation is on. And so obviously they have maintained this position that Sheikh Hasina has to be extradited or sent back to put her on trial. So that sense, nothing is new except for that maybe there is a note verbal, and it has to be, of course, responded to by the Ministry of External Affairs. India has said that there is a threat to the former deposed prime ministers. Not former, actually, if you remember, viewers would recall that the president of Bangladesh is on record saying that he does not have any resignation of the prime minister. So it's possible that there is a legality involved. Also, she is a deposed prime minister, but cannot say whether she is a former prime minister because there is no representative government in Bangladesh as we speak. So we'll have to wait and watch how things pan out, but an Indian response would surely come. We have always maintained that there is a threat to the life of Sheikh Hasina and she needs to be protected, and till the time that that threat perception remains, she is going to stay in India. It's likely that a response along the same lines might be given to the Bangladeshi regime after this note verbal is received. But as I said, this is information coming in from Dhaka, so we have to wait and see whether in what time this reaches to the Ministry of External Affairs through the High Commission of Bangladesh in New Delhi, and then, of course, a response.
Abhishek, do you see that the government India would extradite Sheikh Hasina if pressure builds from Bangladesh?
Well, for those who have watched this space closely, they would know that no, that the answer to that question is absolutely no. There is no question whatsoever of repatriating Sheikh Hasina in any manner. Till, as I said, there are assurances that there is no threat to her life, which is very real. Remember, the circumstances in which she was evacuated were such that had she stayed back for any reasons, it's possible that she might have been physically harmed. We saw how there was a storming of the residence of the Bangladeshi Prime Minister, and the manner in which the mob vandalized the place. In all likelihood, had Sheikh Hasina remained in that house, she would have been physically harmed. We don't know to what extent, and it would have been absolutely serious situation. And so she was evacuated in those circumstances, and she landed in New Delhi, and since then she has been a guest of India, and she is going to continue to remain so till the time, as I mentioned, there are changed circumstances on the ground in Dhaka, which might not be anytime soon. Remember, just a couple of days back, Kriti, we had Muhammad Yunus himself mentioning that the timeline for holding elections by which Bangladesh can have a representative government is flexible and might not be till at least end of next year, which means that for at least 1 year this puppet regime is going to be there, and it has not inspired confidence in India. The manner in which they are conducting themselves is absolutely against the interests of this larger relationship. Remember, just yesterday we had comments coming in from those associated with the Muhammad Yunus regime that the student protests were not organic; they were orchestrated. This was not the first time that those kind of comments had come in, that there was a planning and hence an element of conspiracy in deposing Sheikh Hasina and to dislodge the government, democratically elected government. And otherwise also we have seen pinpricks coming in from Dhaka as recently as December 16, when on the anniversary of the liberation of Bangladesh, we had comments.
All right, Abhishek, have lost your audio connection there, but let's go across to Kishle, who's also joining us live from Republic Bangla. Kishle, although we are expecting a statement from the government of India after this note has come from Bangladesh, but what kind of legal recourse can we expect from Sheikh Hasina and her team?
Well, exactly. Abhishek was explaining very clearly, our senior editor Abhishek Kapoor was explaining very clearly that it is out of question that India is going to do it right now after this verbal request has come from Bangladesh. But let us look at what's happening in Bangladesh. Awami League leaders are being killed every day. Their party offices are being burnt, and Awami League leaders have to flee for their lives in other countries. So if Sheikh Hasina returns, what will happen to her? The radical crowds, Islamist crowds might just kill her, attack her. That is the big concern. That is a big risk if Sheikh Hasina is returned to Bangladesh. Is a question that also all the sides, all the authorities now needs to think about. So whether legally it is needed to be whether there is a legal recourse or legal need to return Sheikh Hasina is a question at one hand. On the other hand, what will happen when she is returned? Because we have seen Awami League senior leaders are being hacked to their death. They are being murdered and openly brutalized. So what will happen to her if she's returned is a question that might prevent this whole process of returning Sheikh Hasina to Bangladesh. Is also something that the international experts are thinking about.
All right. Well, thank you, Kishle, for joining us and sharing those details with us. We'll also thank Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor for sharing that information with us, as Bangladesh is now seeking Sheikh Hasina's repatriation. But viewers, let's also tell you that amid the continued attacks on Hindu minorities in Bangladesh, another such incident has now surfaced, with a decorated freedom fighter being humiliated in the Yunus-led country. Take a look at this report.
Amid the furor over alleged plans to drop the image of Bangladesh's founding president Sheikh Mujibur Rahman from currency notes, the interim Yunus regime stooped to a new low. Abdul Hai Kanu, one of the many celebrated heroes of Bangladesh's liberation struggle, was subjected to gross abuse and humiliation. A video clip went viral purportedly showing Kanu being publicly humiliated on a street in Bangladesh's Komila. The dramatic clip showed the recipient of the country's third highest gallantry award, Veer Pratik, being made to wear a garland of shoes by supporters of the radical Jamaat-e-Islami. The alleged incident took place on December the 22nd. According to local reports, the decorated freedom fighter was forced to leave his area of residence in Komila by local Jamaat men led by Abdul Hashim. Muhammad Rahmatullah, the Upazila Nirbhai officer of Komila, said he saw the video on Facebook. He said while no formal complaint has been registered, a probe was underway into the incident. as a fresh controversy erupts over the insult to Bangladesh's liberation hero and the interim Yunus regime turns a blind eye should the country take it lying down.